For long lengths of time, the people have wondered if there was a parkour map on Hypixel that people could actually beat. Well, fear not, my humans, because after losing in like every parkour, I finally found it. The mindless parkour. This is for when you're bored / tired or want to chill, and it's meant to be easy. The level has 6 floors and 146 easy jumps. Isn't this great? Finally, somebody thought of us that wanted to look good at doing parkour. Yay! So that's basically what we're gonna do this video. Like, we're gonna keep going with just doing Hypixel housing parkour, but this time we're just gonna do an easy and relaxing one. Because, as they said on the title, it's a mindless parkour. So what you're just supposed to do is, it's supposed to replace, like you can see it in chat. You replace running around the hub by doing this. It's not a thing that you're supposed to like sweat about, like worry about making the very precise jumps of Minecraft, all those ladder neos and the glass planes and the blips. Like look, it's a friendly smiley face and everything. So basically what we're gonna do is just, we're going to use this parkour thing to just relax and talk about things. Because I clearly have a topic prepared, as you know, and I already failed once, guys. This is great. I failed once. Now we're going to floor 2, and you see we go a level up. We can see the outside. Isn't the outside beautiful? It really is. I haven't seen the actual outside in a couple of weeks, but you know, we have the Hypixel outside instead, and that's just, you know, almost just as good, right? Right. I did consider a few topics of what to talk here, but I just have no idea. So what's probably just more likely to happen is that you just see me confidently doing a parkour and actually doing well on it. So yay, good job guys. You're going to see me do well in a parkour. Because like, what else do I have to tell? Are there more college stories? I don't know. I thought I ended the series by now. Even though, I mean, technically there are. It's just about what I'm willing to say. Ain't that so mysterious sounding? Oh, it definitely is. Oh, and just like that, we're done with floor 2 and we're going to floor 3. I also like seeing the people's times in the chat. Like, even just that last second, you saw like somebody finished in 9 minutes and somebody finished in 37. So it really is just a relaxing parkour. Just for whoever wants to. I failed. No, this ladder, I was just trying to do a good time. But like, it's the parkour for everyone that can do parkour. So even the people that aren't as good, they can come in here and they can practice and they can still finish. And that's wholesome. I like that this person's creator actually thought of doing a parkour that is actually simple and kindness again. Because like every parkour on Hypixel, that even if it says easy, it just gets ridiculously hard after like the 3rd or 4th floor, and it's just like, no, I just want to finish this. I don't want to be here for 2 hours. And that's apparently an inconsiderate thing to have, I guess. But turns out we're just going to keep doing this and going, and we go poop, and we fail. One thing I can talk about is the story of one of the first days of college, because that's something kind of short, and it's something we can put here. And this is the story of my Spanish teacher, because you see, my Spanish teacher, when college started, she was pregnant, which was very wholesome, and she was very sweet. That meant we weren't going to be with her for a long time. So what happened was that we had to make the fullest of that semester. And after that semester, we ended up like having like 4 weeks or like a month or and a half of having no teacher, because you know the school wasn't prepared apparently for my teacher going to be pregnant and not being able to teach. Like obviously, I'm guessing my college just thought that after she gave birth to the baby, she'd just come back to class the next day. It turns out that's not what happens when you have some major stuff like that at hospitals. And I hope to find out about that soon. Well, we're gonna keep going now. We're at the green. But basically, during that first semester, in like one of the first ever classes, because like we were learning Spanish, it's my minor, because again, I'm not Spanish. I need to learn the language, albeit it's quite similar to Portuguese, but it's still worth learning. So in order to learn that, we start with numbers. You know, simple to learn, just, you know, first class things. We had 3 years to get to the hard stuff. And the way that she decided to do it was by making us play bingo. And this is just one of my happiest memories in college. Not the happiest, just like funniest type of thing. It's one of the funnier ones. Because this was during that time where, if you watch the last video, it was during that time where I didn't give a crap about college. So to have us just play a game, I'm like, yo, this is epic. So basically what we did was, like, you had like the bingo numbers from 1 to 30 and whatever, and the teacher had them on a paper. And like the students were supposed to like write on like a sheet like 5 numbers. And then like each person would give it to the teacher, and she put them on a hat, and then she'd sort of like the bingo machine. But you see, here's where I was the only person to actually use strategy. Because yes, I clearly needed to do strategy in bingo for Spanish University. As you do, it was deeply important that I win that. Because the teacher was actually not shuffling the numbers on the little hat type thingy that she had kept them. And what happened was, each student didn't have random numbers, obviously, or else it'd be completely awkward. So what happened was, the first numbers that she collected were the shorter numbers, and she basically put them in the hat below. And the last people to deliver were to deliver her like the sheets of paper to put on the hat with like the small numbers, were of the bigger ends. So since it was like 1 to 30, what I basically did was that I avoided any number that was below 10, because what we had to do was just, which is kind of the strategic part of bingo here, because normally you're just given a random bingo sheet that you have to fill in. But here, no, you got to pick your own 12 numbers. And instead of just being like doing the free lines to like do a bingo, no, you had to fill like that entire 12 or 9 number sheet. I don't remember how much it was anymore, but it was something like that. So basically, I avoided every number below 10, because that would just be at the very end of the pile, and I just had like very big numbers. So color me surprised, where she kept drawing and drawing, because of course like we had to fill 9 numbers. It obviously was gonna take a bit longer than usual. I'm failing this. I don't appreciate this. Hey, I did it. But go. No, I have to do that again. But so basically what happened was that everyone else was still not finishing, because they had short numbers, and those short numbers were just not showing up, or like very rarely you'd get one short number, but it just wasn't happening. So what happened was that at the end, finally I got the last number I needed to complete my bingo card, and I won. And I won the bingo, and from then on I was known as the Bingo Lord, and it shall never be forgotten. It was that impressive of actual thing, that when we were doing cahoots in one Spanish class with a different teacher, but still we did Kahoot. So everyone else, this is kind of similar to the English story. Everyone else just wrote down their names, okie dokie. I go in there like, so bingo god, yeah, let's go, bingo god, bingo queen, bingo whatever. Because why not? If I already had that role in Spanish, I was going to keep that role. And I might have finished 5th in that Kahoot. You don't have to worry about it. It was about Spanish. I wasn't the smartest person in Spanish, and still am not now. This semester, I finished with a higher grade on English literature than I did in Spanish. So it tells you all I needed to know. So it's just like, happy days. It is the days of the memories of college that I will remember from Spanish. It is definitely the whole me winning bingo with strategy, me coming 5th in Kahoots. Oh, but like winning bingo with strategy, it reminded me of another moment in Spanish, since I'm pretty sure we're about to finish the math, but I think we have time for this last story, which is, there was one time during group works where we were learning about the house, like the house, like what the different rooms in the house are called. I'm just gonna fail this on purpose. Look, it's the end. And what happened was, one person in the group had to draw like this house type thingy that we would describe. And so we had 3 people in our group, me and Tuash. Hey, I finished in 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's do it again. Go. Oh, I got resident. That means I can fly now. Let's go. So basically what happened was I had... Wow, that thing just went twice. Oh, we're gonna do the parkour twice in this video. Why not? I mean, if it takes 9 minutes, then the 20-minute video would be cool. And it's just, the parkour is only here in the background. Just focus on the words of the college stories, I guess, because this is a bit calmer than, you know... How did I fail that? Because this is a bit calmer than trying to do UHC deathmatch, that's for sure. So basically, in that group work, the guy that was, like, it was a guy, a girl, and me. And basically, the guy tells the girl that she has to draw because the guy failed at art. And I basically go like, hey, me too, because I did. Like, it's an actual story that, like, before coming to college, I only failed a class once, and it was in 6th grade, and it was art. Well, how did I fail it? Because I am actually terrible at drawing. Like, do you see stick figures? Like, yes, I just draw stick figures. I have fun drawing in games like like Arctic Phone and Scribble.io. I have fun drawing, but man, am I absolutely terrible, and it was to the point that I actually failed that class when nobody else did. But thankfully it was 6th grade, so failing one class didn't actually make me do the year all over again like it does in college, because English literature, screw you. So I just passed the 7th grade normally, but still. So like I use that as an argument. It's like, yeah, I failed at art too. I can't make that house drawing thingy. And the girl just looks at us both with like a face of like utter disappointment, like, what, how? And the guy turns around and says, we're just joking, like, come on, we're kidding with you. And then I straight up go like, I'm not. I actually did fail. So that was the start of a great group, because those two are definitely a part of my good friends from college, in the days where my brain tells me that I have friends. But you know, it was funny because the guy was saying it as a joke and I was saying it for reals, because like, yeah, you know, not everyone's as good as art, okay? You look in the internet and it seems like everyone is an art god. Like all of Twitter is like a bunch of art when you go past all the angry comments. And it's just like, no, I kind of suck at it. But it's fun. It's some very funny Spanish stories, because, you know, we need fun Spanish stories to go over what that first year being horrible. I mean, like, I legit had like just a 10 on that first semester of Spanish. I passed like just barely. And it was because of an exercise that legit had us translate words of the house to Portuguese. That was the thing I actually did worse at than the entire test, and that's what made me almost fail Spanish. Because the parts that were in Spanish of the test, I did amazing at. But that exercise of translating was worth like so many points. Like almost half of the test was through that one exercise where we had to translate like 28 things from Spanish to Portuguese. And I just did not know the names of the things in Portuguese. So it's like, you know what? This is unfair. I'm out here doing Spanish, not Portuguese. Are you kidding me? I escaped Portuguese for a reason. I barely speak it. Like, come on, native language. Native screw you. Oh god, I failed this jump again. Oh, I made it this time. It's definitely a thing, like, I like the fact that most of the classes on my course were actually either in English or Spanish. And I didn't have that many classes in Portuguese. Like, it definitely helped. Because if I were to go back at it now that I actually give a crap about college, I can look back and ask, why didn't I go to psychology? Because during the 2 years that I actually did care about college, like I ended up doing so many works to do with psychology and things like that, and it's just like, well, why didn't you go to psychology? You actually like researching this stuff. But then you remember that it's Portuguese psychology, and I'd have to write like formally like huge 12-page essays in Portuguese, and it's just like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd fail psychology instantly. Because they'd probably like even ask more formal Portuguese due to English being a foreign language. And it's just like, no, I'm better at English than I am at Portuguese. Please stop. This is not something that would be available to me. So you know that's why we're not how did I fail that? Are you kidding me? That's why psychology is not being considered. Because if I'm going to do works for psychology, I'm doing them in English. And I'm doing them for my course. And you know, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And one other thing we can speak of until like this ends is like what's going to happen next year. Well, next year, like I said, during the first semester, I'm doing English literature, and then during the second semester, I'm doing another class of English literature. That way I can finally finish the course. And hopefully after that, I can go to the masters, because the masters that my course provide, none of them are really interesting. I'm not going to lie. I did not consider the masters at all when signing up for my course, and like it's been incredibly obvious. Like the masters, not really interesting. But thankfully, after doing this course, it doesn't just force me into being on masters of this course. Like you can actually do masters. The only one I know for is education, but you can, because you can get a job as an English teacher. You can get a job as an English teacher by going to the masters of teaching English to like elementary school, even without having done the degree of education, which is great. I mean, you have to do a test in Portuguese, which I'll be doing next year, and it's like, imagine, like, this is a message for future me, like, imagine I don't actually manage to get a job, like, I don't get to go into the masters I want of, like, teaching English to elementary students, because of course I love to teach English to elementary students. That sounds like the dream job, besides being a psychologist, but we're not doing that. Like, it just sounds like a dream job to, like, actually be able to teach English to Portuguese kids, and just be, like, their first, like, knowledge and, like, interaction with the language being taught to them. So it'd be cool. Okay. And I failed. Like, come on, it's like it's like the more runs I do of this, the worse I get. It's unforgivable. Like, I'm gonna be really sad if after doing so well at English, I end up not getting accepted into the course because we have to do a test in Portuguese, because obviously we can't just speak English to the elementary school people, to the elementary school toddlers. They're not gonna understand anything if I do, so I gotta speak in Portuguese and then teach them stuff in English. But still, hopefully I don't fail a Portuguese test, because the last time I've taken a Portuguese test was in 12th grade, and it did not go very well. But that doesn't matter, because we did the sub 8 minutes. Oh, let's go. We finished below 8 minutes. This is a happy day. And basically, that's going to be it for today. Another random bit of college stories of first grade Spanish and what we're going to do next year. So, bye-bye.